The Plagueburst Crawler has started its first ascent into some nurgly goodness. We've covered most of the armor in the Militarum green, and now we are going to be working on this trim. So, let's start. But before you do, make sure you feed the warp by hitting like, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, just mixing up our Balthasar gold. And I'm using a number 1 brush. I'm kind of grabbing it quite a lot because this does require a fair amount of trim work. Okay. Now that we got some on our brush, let's begin. So I am actually just going to start right here on the edge. I'm not gonna worry too much about getting on the tracks because we'll be covering that up. Next, we'll move to the other side. Okay. Done with that. Now, what I want to do is we're going to work on these spikes, but in a little bit later time. I actually want to work on this back section. kind of load the brush a little bit thicker, a little bit more than normal when I'm going over these beads. This helps move and get that coverage just a tad bit easier. Don't want to like absolutely like overload it where you're pushing the paint around. Just enough to kind of go over. Okay. Now for this side. Let's just get these little top sections. Like I said, I don't care if I make too much of a mess, because I'll be covering up with a different color. Move under a little bit. And I'm actually going to cover this whole area as well. really do like this color. And it just now looks so great. Once it has been, once it has some proper patina. And I think I gotta get some more paint on my brush. One last. Okay. Next. I believe we're going to cover this, and don't worry, this right here will be the Iron Warriors, filled with soot and rust. We're going to let that dry so I can apply a second coat. And I know that looks a little rough. got that fairly well covered. Next, I think we'll move on to these spikes. Now I'm not going to cover the spikes with copper. I'm actually going to have those be Iron Warriors. We'll add a nice different kind of coloration. And plus you'll kind of mentally know, yes, those are spikes. And also it will give me more of a reason to use Dirty Down Rust. Absolutely love that stuff. Okay, now while that dries, we'll work on the next one. Let's work on edges. Actually, let's work on this edge. That edge is a little bit on the drier side. Okay. side done. So we'll probably still go over the top, do a second coat. We got the edges. We do need to still do the bottom, but I think we're gonna wait and let that dry a little bit before kind of continuing, because I guess we can actually still kind of recover some of the top. Just kind of a second thin coat. Do the second thin coat. Now this second coat is actually very thin, almost a little too watered down. Really just to kind of get that, cover those little light patches and try to get those little cracks, like right here and here. Because sometimes Balthasar gold can be fairly thick and not want to do that, but it either like completely covers it all up or it doesn't get anything in there. So now, I think we should do these sides. I think that would be a good segue from this top. We're going to need to get a little bit more, though, onto our wet palette. I must say that I think this is probably the most fun of a Death Guard model. Or I guess just the most relaxing of them all. Because you're not nitpicking over every tiny little detail. Because while there's still a fair amount of detail, you can kind of like let some of it go, in a sense, or not worry so much about it and get fixated and go like, oh, I missed that spike, I missed that bit, like on a lot of models. First thing that comes to mind are the Terminators, and yeah, pretty much all Terminator models just come to mind. Okay. So now we're going to have to turn this down. Sorry if you can't see because of the gun. It won't take too long. Undercoat. Okay. Okay, we got that covered. Very nice. Let's move on to the other side. First, just trying to make sure I don't touch any wet paint. The nice thing about Death Guard is let's say you make a really big mess up, right? Your hand slips, you got Balthasar gold all over your armor, right? And you just start panicking. What do I do? What do I do? How can I clean this up? The answer is you kind of don't. You don't worry about it because you can always cover it up with grime or Nurgle's rot, just pus, and nobody, just cover it up. Just nobody will be the wiser. I think that's probably my favorite thing about Death Guard. You know, unless you're trying to go for some super clean version, which I don't know why, but you know, you be you. You can afford to make those mistakes and cover it up later on in the process. Because not a lot of other armies have that ability. Gee, I really don't know any army that you can any other army. I mean, maybe orcs. I mean, cover it up with some dirt and grime. But I mean, the orcs that I'm going for is more cartoony in a sense. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Now, just kind of looking at this, I'm trying to think, maybe have those be copper, but I think I'm gonna reserve and use Iron Warriors on what I have not done. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? I think this could be copper down here. Have this grate. I'm gonna water that down a little bit. Let's try to pop those bubbles. So, it's gonna take a little. Alright, that's just not fine enough. So, I'm gonna grab a toothpick. Here's my brush. Not quite fair enough. Okay. When in doubt, mechanical pencil. Oh, even the mechanical pencil. Oh, I got it. Interesting. I guess I can use a super fine brush. Kind of poke it. There we go. Just gotta think. There we go. Might have damaged the brush a little bit, but oh well. I don't buy expensive brushes. Try to keep them as long as I can, but you know. I guess you say I don't buy like absolutely horrible brushes, but I mean I think I was saying it. I'm not rushed to go buy super expensive ones. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go over these edges a little bit. And I believe then after that, we'll cover this and we will work on this bit right here. This will also be copper. And I think we can then move on to another color. You gotta think about the back of this dozer blade. No. I'm conflicted. Part of me wants to cover it in Balthasar gold, but I think maybe I should just do steel. And just have a bunch of gunk and rust on it. let's flip this upside down and work on the other half. Other half of this. Just working on this lip. Good news, almost finished my warriors and scarabs. Hey, congratulations. It's always a good feeling, like, once you kind of got a unit all done and you're just ready to play it, you know? But I hope you're having a fantastic week. There's just a few more models. Yes. And then is your Necron army completed or fully painted? more or less. Hey, there you go. Yep, I need to paint more and more and more. It's just like it's never done. Although, I do think it would be really fun. I would love to get a Storm Surge. And see if you can shoot Angron off the board before Angron just desecrates him. I'll just have 2 heavy destroyers, a Locust Lord, Normal Lord, revamped Nightbringer, and then Triarch Stalker. You know, I think you should do the Stalker next. I would love to see that thing painted. So if you want to show off your models, I do have a Discord. Trying to revitalize it, you know. Stalker will probably be the last ones. Oh, you need your Locust for anti-tank and the Lord is simple enough. Oh, you forgot to do the Techno answer? Yeah, you see, it's all that list always goes up. The more you the more you do, the less you see, like, it feels like you've gotten done, you know? That's how it feels like with me sometimes. And then I realized I just buy way too many models. Looking a lot better now that the edges have been kind of cleaned up a bit. We've got some stragglers. forgot to do this bottom section. Silly me. Okay. Let's get that inside lip. Okay. Let's get this covered. Alright, I'll cover that bit with Balthasar gold when I switch colors. Now, I do think I need to grab a little bit more from the pot. I am kind of curious, though. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I guess this can be the copper. And then I can go over this. What do you think? Should this be the middle part, or do you think this should be the copper part? Well, since I already have that covered, I think maybe that should be the copper section. And then it will kind of look well with having this kind of emblem. I think that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. Change of plans. I thought that was all one kind of uniform section. I guess this right here will have to be the gold. because it's going to be covered back with metal. And this bottom section will also be copper. Be copper as well. Let's cover this section. Get in all those little pits. Kind of like pushing it in there. Make sure it's saturated before I kind of go over top. There's this little hair right there. Okay, got it. That is the curse with living with puppers. 2 doggos. You get all the love that you could want, but they should. And then their hair gets into their hair gets into your models. That's how it goes. Alright. Now I will carefully do this top trim. I forgot. I missed. Right. Let's do it for this other side. There we go. And the way how I do those small little kind of lips on the trim is I basically aim for the corner of it instead of trying to be directly on top, because that way I can direct the pressure a little bit easier. Because when you put the pressure like on the corner, it will kind of go both ways, so you kind of have twice the forgiveness, I guess. I think that's the best way of kind of describing it. Also want to make sure your model is fairly steady. See how I put my brush on that corner, and I was able to actually put down a fair amount of pressure on it without getting onto the armor. That will cover for now. Oops. There is that bit right there. I forgot. Alright. That's why we do a double take. I believe that that will cover the primary copper. Alright. Now I believe that we can actually start going on to the metallics. So what I'm thinking is we do a mix of Iron Warriors and Lead Belcher. So glad Warriors are in such a big blob. I can't imagine doing all these parts standard. Yeah, it can. Like, I remember I did 30 Poxwalkers, and they were all kind of semi-individual, right? Like, it looks fantastic, I absolutely love how they turned out, but oh my word, was that a nightmare. I didn't even live stream because I didn't even want to think about like having to talk. I just kind of put on a TV show and just went. So, let's see. Let's get some Iron Warriors, and we're going to do the tracks first. Or should we do... I'm trying to think. So I know I want to do the chains, Iron Warriors. Have this, like the wrought iron, be that. So maybe the lead belcher should be the tracks. There's green near the glowy bits, good enough. Yep. That's kind of how I felt when I was getting to the end of doing all those Potswalkers. I'm kind of like, okay, they don't look horrible. And they're going to be in a blob, and half of them are going to die before they do anything, so. Alright, so yeah, we will be using Lead Belcher for the tracks. And a fair lot of this stuff. I think maybe these will be... Actually, no, these will be Iron Warriors. Iron Warriors, yeah. This will be fairly large. And I'm going to be moving up to a size 3 brush for this, since there is so much track. Just trying to get a good thinning down of this paint. Let's work on the bottom. See how that. Kind of just trying to make sure the first coat is all covered and it's not too thick. I think I will actually thin this down a little bit more and go over it. I got this side a little bit too thick, too thin down. You can kind of see the bubbles forming. It's typically a sign that you watered it down too much. But that's why we kind of did this on the bottom where nobody's gonna see. All your testing down on the bottom, so therefore the top doesn't look absolutely like. I'd rather have the bottom look weird and uneven than the top. We're ready to start working our way up to the top. I'm going to be a little bit more careful. Top. Slide. Let's work on the sides. I'm going to have the wheels be Iron Warriors. I want to make sure that I differentiate the different types of metals that we use. Add a little bit more Iron Warriors. I mean, not Iron Warriors, my apologies. Blood Belcher. I know this might be a little weird to see because of course the gun is taking it, but I'm just getting to the top of these tracks. I'm not paying too close attention to how neat I'm being with it, because what I don't want to be Lead Belcher will be covered up with Iron Warriors. Okay. I can see that the Lead Belcher's getting a little bit thinned down. We're just gonna grab a little bit more. Make sure we get that nice coat. Okay. Excellent. Alright, so we have those tracks now covered. Oops, there's that side actually. So we have that taken care of. And the other tracks, however, I do believe... You know what? Let's try to finish this. We'll finish this other track. And then we're already at the hour-and-a-half mark. but that was not contrast, or that could have been a upsetting moment. I've spilt way too many contrasts to be... Well, I've spilt way too many. It just makes you cry when you're like, no, that's like the whole pot. Hey, Owen. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Get into these cracks. All right. There we are. Now we're just gonna try to work in to these cracks on the side. How am I doing today? You know what? I'm having a pretty good day. Woke up a little drowsy. I went to bed a little later than I should have. Man, had to go to work. But you know what? I'm painting today. You can't be angry when you're painting. At least normally. I mean, unless if you're painting World Eaters, then maybe just the painter can have a little bit of anger as a treat. To kind of covering this guy up, and I got him like this is my first Death Guard vehicle I'm painting, and so far it's just been a treat compared to like the Terminators and everything that I've been painting. The Terminators, while they are absolutely fantastic, I love them, especially how they turned out. It was a lot of work. There was just always something that I missed painting. Every time I tried changing the color, it would just reveal itself going like, hey, you forgot to paint me, man. Yo, Trismatic! Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. You know, woke up a little bit on the groggy side, you know, went to bed way later than my old man bones says I should, but you know what? I'm painting, and that always gets me in a pretty good mood. How are you doing? Alright, I think we got that. Now we can actually start working on the insides of these tracks. You get that mood? Yes, yes. I was my friend was teaching me how to play League of Legends, because I watch him stream all the time, and I'm like, hey, can you like at least teach me how, like, what you're doing? Because he's like, oh, what's you doing? And I just see giant flashes of light, and I'm like, okay, I guess. And he's trying to teach me how to play so I can better understand. And I gotta be honest, I experienced the true toxicity of that game yesterday, and I gotta be honest, it was actually quite entertaining because it wasn't completely directed at me. Just got a chance to hop into stream since lecture is on break. Nice. What's the class about, or what's the lecture about? I remember those days. It was simpler times. And trying to get every little crack in there. Kind of a pain, not gonna lie. Yeah, League toxicity can be funny. It's network fundamentals doing my master's program. Nice. I didn't know that you already got your bachelor's. Or like, are you kind of like doing your bachelor's and master's kind of at the same time thing? Like, I know that some people can kind of do that. I'd rather be anywhere else, but if I know I can skip out on lectures, I'm a fail hard. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. There was so many times where I'm like, I do not want to go to this engineering class, and I'm just like, but I'm like, I know that I'm going to fail. Especially when it was like, I did computational fluid dynamics. Absolutely horrid professor. Did not know how to teach whatsoever. But I'm like, and the annoying thing was that they took attendance. So it's just like, it was literally a waste of time. Like, I actually had to go talk to other professors and be like, this professor doesn't know what they're teaching. Can you please explain it? You actually wanted to get into a CFD a little while back. The math is crazy from what I read. Yeah, it is crazy, but thankfully, like, the computers do a lot of the math. Fluid dynamic, like, the fluid dynamics was the prerequisite for that, and it was pretty intense. But I feel like once you kind of, it's like once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad. Looks like Professor's back. All right, well, thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Even just a little bit really does actually matter. All right, so I really do kind of wish that this dozer wasn't on, but I kind of, that's what you get for buying secondhand. You take what you can get. How hard of an army is Death Guard to paint? It can be either really, really easy, or it can be painstaking. It really depends on the level of detail you want to go in. Like, if you're like, I don't care if every single spike is painted, you can get it. You can be reasonable with it. And there's also they're semi-elite. You don't have to paint as many, so it's kind of like you don't have to you have to paint more than Custodes, but you're not painting like 30 Space Marines, you know. So, but the thing is that there is a certain kind of, there's just a lot of detail, and depending on how much you want to put that detail into your painting, is what's going to dictate how much time and effort you're going to have to put into it. So here, let me actually grab an example. Okay, so one thing I hate about Space Marines, I have so many infantry. Yeah, so you can actually do a fair amount of Death Guard and not have to worry too much. So, I mean, but the thing is that so take Typhus, right? There is just so much little detail that you can either overlook or go really crazy into. Same with like kind of I forget what this guy is, but like you could see that there is a lot of detail, but you can obviously go crazy or not. So, but that's what I like about this army. You can choose how much pain you want to give yourself. So. Alright, so that's it on one side. Let me go on to the other. If I did Death Guard, I would probably look over a lot because I'm a terrible painter. Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's like it's really just a matter of how much time do you spend looking at it. That's really it. Like a good example of it is also Poxwalkers. I painted 30 of them, and if you really wanted to, you could have 30 of them done in maybe 30 minutes. If you were like, I do not care about painting all the crazy stuff, or you could spend however many hours I went over. Like it was probably like a week and a half worth of painting on my, just like kind of while watching TV, just kind of like I paint. So I'm actually kind of excited. I actually do plan on incorporating all 30 of the Poxwalkers in my little mini battle reports. So, can you see one of the Poxwalkers? Yeah, of course. Hold on. Give me 1 second. So here's a handful of them, right? And you can go absolutely crazy with it, right? Like me, I did like, hey, here's a lab coat, here's like a construction worker or biohazard mat, got some jeans on here, got a different color jeans, got other shorts right here. There's a loincloth, right? So they, those mini battle reports are always fun to watch. Teeny not mini. Well, thank you. I really do enjoy. I really do. I wish that they would pick up a little bit better. Analytics are actually the analytics are a little mean to them. But I'm gonna keep doing it. It's the thing that I kind of want. So eventually, I want this channel to be battle reports, and so the real long form content will be the full on, highly edited battle reports. but the live streams will be the paintings, so you can kind of get a little sneak peek. And the shorts, my thought process is like, I need to bust a lot of this rust off or go through those growing pains before I do the long form content. And kind of like, by the time I actually get to do those long form contents, I'll be like, hey, I have built these assets, so everything will kind of look how I want it to. I kind of know how to use the editing software, and then it won't be so painful, you know, because I know a lot of people, they just kind of push out a whole bunch of content and it's not that good, and I know I'm not good, right? But I'm trying to, like, I don't want to just put out mediocre content just to put out. The live streams is pretty much the closest I would get to that. It's just like, hey, I got a live stream, I got to paint. The live streams are not some high budget quality. I'm not trying to do some crazy like paint one model every single live stream. I probably would work myself to death on that. Also, just chatting with you while painting is fun, and you like my content. Well, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot, because there's like, I got like my first real kind of like hater on last live stream, just like, oh, you're a putrid liar because of like you're not an expert, how dare you lie. And I'm just like, I spent an hour on it, man. Like I hope I change your mind. But it's just like it's the thing is that one negative thing, like I forget, it's like one negative thing eliminates like 5 positive things. Like it's crazy how the psyche is that strong, you know? Or is that critical of itself? So I am thinking about like I've been having a lot of fun having my friend teach me how to play League. I'm thinking about maybe once a week or so I'll live stream the games, or maybe just like, hey, you know what? I just gonna like randomly pop up or something when I can stream, but I'm not gonna have some organized time or something. I'll probably put a poll out if that's something people want. I think what I'll do is I will now have this the lead belcher. I've never played League. Is it fun? I think the best way to explain it is fun, but it is so toxic in a sense. It is just I think it's fun. I like, I've only played it for 2 days, you know, but I'm thoroughly enjoying myself with it. There's a lot that kind of goes over on it, you know, like I think I watched him stream it for probably about 2 months before I'm like, okay, I still don't really know what's going on. But like everybody is just like, they'll be like, oh look, did you like, he's like, oh look, did you see what's going on? Did you see that? I'm like, no, I saw you move left or move right. I did a little wiggle and a dance, and then you're like, and now you're screaming about how amazing of a move it is. I'm like, I don't understand it. It's just like me. I'm one of those type of people that I have to understand something. I'm always trying to learn something new, some new talent or skill or something. I'm always trying to, like, if I don't know how to bake something, if I have never made like sourdough bread, I'll become fixated enough till like I am good at making sourdough bread. And that's just kind of like how my personality is. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna get the other side now. I'm gonna start painting some Barbican, so I might not chat as much. Oh no, you're quite all right. So I actually will probably having to be signing off fairly soon. Yeah, so I actually think I finished that right there. So I think this will actually be a good stopping point for me. So I'm already almost at the 2-hour mark. It is time, sir. And I promised the wifey that I would spend some time with her, and I need to be a man of my word. But I hope that you had a lot of fun. I know I certainly did. We will definitely try live streaming again sometime this week. I'm going to probably try to do a short tomorrow, and then maybe another live stream on Friday. But I hope you've had fun. And if you really liked it, make sure to hit the like. And if you really loved it, to make sure to subscribe. And I'm Ecov, and I am